Hey guys, back with another video. I just wanted to go ahead and, first of all, I want to start out by wishing you all a happy Thanksgiving. Today is November 27th, also known as Thanksgiving in America. I want to wish you all guys that, a good one. I hope you guys are having fun out there today. So, today is going to be a video on my Samsung Galaxy S5. I've had this phone for about 2 months now. I got it in mid-September. I paid, I don't know, a lot for it on eBay. And I actually do like this phone overall, but there are certain issues with it that I've been having, and I just don't really feel like dealing with them. I'm going to be detailing those issues today. I'm going to talk about, certain issues that I've had and why I am still going to be an iPhone person after all of this. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. As you can see, Galaxy S5, and I actually bought this on a whim after I had an S4. I wanted something better, so I sold my iPhone and the S4 to buy this, and then I had a little money left over, which was cool. But basically, I want just to go ahead and say that while this phone is actually really good overall, I actually really like this phone, it does have some issues, and I'm going to be detailing those here. So, the first one I want to talk about is actually related to build quality. Like I said, overall this phone is actually built pretty darn well. Built a lot better than the S4. I really like it overall. But I've had one certain issue, and I'm pretty sure this is just with my S5, although it is still an issue. The camera lens. I've had issues with this camera lens being flush with the housing. As you can see here, if you look at the backmost cover, the backmost portion of the back cover, you can see that the back cover is perfectly flush at the back, and at the front over here it's actually not only recessed more, it's actually farther away from the housing itself. And as you can, if you can look at it here, you can see that the camera lens is actually much closer to the bottom cover than anywhere else. So there's more of a gap around these edges is what I'm trying to say. I've also had a little issue where the actual glass that covers the lens has not been completely flush with the chrome ring. If you run your finger across it, in certain areas you can see places where the chrome ring is higher than the glass, and the glass is higher than the chrome ring. I've actually tried to fix this. I've used various methods, but it doesn't seem like anything is going to make it completely perfect. So that is basically the only build issue I've been having with it. So that's that. The next issue I want to go over is the software issues, and that is basically what this video is going to be centered upon. I've just basically had lag issues overall. It's running TouchWiz obviously, so it's not stock Android or anything, but what the heck is my dog doing? Anyway, it's not stock and it doesn't run like stock, but I actually like a lot of the features that TouchWiz is bringing to the table. And that's why I don't really go with any stock Android phones. I like this. First of all, I like this kind of thing. I do like some of these features that Samsung has implemented into the software, and so that's why I've generally clung to Samsung for Android phones. But yeah, anyway, I've had a lot of lag issues, and it just seems like yesterday, it was yesterday actually, I was having a lot of, just my phone felt like it was locking up all the time. I could swipe across home screens, like if I wanted to swipe from this home screen to the next. Of course it's working now because I've fixed the problem, but last night I was doing that, and I would swipe, and it would be like almost a 1-second delay before it would actually catch up. That just, like, what? Like, I can't deal with that kind of thing on a daily basis. It's just, that's not cool. It's just one of those things where I don't really feel like dealing with that while I'm using my phone in day-to-day use. It's the same reason I use a Mac versus this Windows computer that I have over here on a daily basis, because I want my phone to just work like my computer. So, yeah. The next thing I want to go over is the music playback. I play music in my car a lot. And I drive a lot, and I like music. I hate the radio most of the time, too many ads, so I just play music from my phone. And I, of course, use Bluetooth. I hook it up to my radio because the head unit in my car supports Bluetooth connectivity. And it's a lot more convenient than plugging in an auxiliary jack. So that's what I use. And when I had my iPhone, that worked perfectly flawlessly. I can control the actual music from the radio itself. I don't have to pick up my phone and fiddle with that while I'm driving. Not to mention that's more dangerous anyway. And it works just fine. But it seems like with this phone, for some reason, when I'm playing music, for some reason it just kind of lags out. Like it would play a song and then halfway through the middle of the song it will just stop playing for about half a second and then start playing again. Apparently this is a Galaxy S5 specific issue. I went on Reddit and I've been talking to other people with Galaxy S5s and they have the exact same issue. So I know it's an S5 issue there. And then one time my phone was in sleep mode playing music obviously, and since the Bluetooth issue wasn't working I had it plugged into the auxiliary jack, the headphone jack, and I wanted to skip a song. So I picked my phone up, I go ahead and I press the skip song button on the lock screen and it doesn't do anything. So I press it again. Still doesn't do anything, so I press it 5 more times. And then of course, it finally catches up and skips about 10 songs. So, I mean, like, I cannot deal with that kind of thing. It's just, that is redonkulous. So, I don't like that. Apparently it's a Galaxy S5 issue, so that's why I figured I'd bring it up. Sorry about that, my camera ran out of space on the SD card, so... Going back to what I was saying, the music issue is just kind of crappy. The next thing I want to go ahead and focus on, so I'm pretty sure this is a software issue, it might not be though, is the camera. It seems like if I want to take a clear photo, it's about impossible. I have the image stabilization off, and we'll talk about that a little later. But basically, if I want to take a photo, and my hands are ever so slightly, not steady, as you can see, if I'm just doing this and then I go ahead and take a photo, it will not be very clear once you zoom into it, and it seems like it's impossible to actually take a 100% clear photo. Now Samsung has a solution for this. It's called digital image stabilization, and if you turn it on, basically if you're in any sort of low light, if you're not outside basically, and you want to take a picture of something, you will have to probably hold the camera steady on it for about 8 seconds while it decides what to do. So I obviously have that feature turned off. It just takes way too long. It's very annoying, in other words. So don't get me wrong, when you can actually take a perfectly clear photo with this camera, it's awesome. The camera on this thing is actually really freaking good. It just seems like it's almost impossible to take a 100% clear photo. This is another area where the iPhone just kills it. So that's that. The next thing I want to talk about is the actual speed of opening the camera app. Let's take my other camera here for demonstration. Now I'm going to go ahead and, from the lock screen, I'm going to open up the camera and see how fast I can take a picture of my camera. So here we go. Okay, now that wasn't so bad. That took about a few seconds, so that was alright. But seems like sometimes, of course it's not going to do it on the camera because that's just my luck. It's not going to show the issue. Sometimes when I do that, it takes a while for the camera app to open. Like I'm talking about a good 2-3 seconds here. Sometimes if you want to get a quick shot in of something that's moving, that's not cool, and that just sucks. There seems to be a more lag in the camera opening than I would like. I want to talk about one more thing before I go, and that is the battery life. A lot of people complain about the iPhone and say that it doesn't have good battery life. Well, I beg to differ, because I am going to display here. Here is my screen on time for the Galaxy S5. As you can see, I have about 45 minutes of screen on time, and I'm at 53%. That is just really bad. That is just really bad. If I did the same thing on the iPhone, I guarantee you I would have at least 85% left. I get about an easy 5 hours on the iPhone. Now granted, this phone has been in standby for quite a while, as seen here. It's been about almost a day on battery, but still, with the iPhone, you can even do that and you will still get 4 or 5 hours screen on time regardless of if you let it stand by for a day or so. So that's another thing where Android just does not have it up yet, is battery management. It's at least with this phone. It seems like the standby time is much better on the iPhone, and it does not impact your battery as greatly as this. Now, in a normal usage scenario with this phone, I can get anywhere between 1 to 4 hours of screen on time. Now, why is that so varied? Well, it's varied for the exact reason I just showed you. Sometimes I don't get anything, other times I get, you know, a reasonable amount. But it seems like to get the actual 4 or 5 hours of screen time that people are talking about, I have to constantly use the phone. So standby time, not so great. So that was the last thing I want to talk about. I want to go ahead and end this video on a positive note though, because I still do like the S5 overall. It's a good phone, I would still recommend it, but this is the kind of thing, and these are the reasons why I will still be an iPhone person overall. So my iPhone 6 is coming, I don't know when. My shipment got delayed again by another week, so I'm really not sure when I'm going to get it, but I will get it eventually, and that's what I'll be using. I will keep this phone as kind of just like a backup or a secondary device, but I'm back on the iPhone for the considerable future, and the reasons I just outlined in this video are exactly why I prefer Apple overall. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys later.